it started where I was in a point of just searching for someone. I was, when you need something in your life, but you don't know what it is. I thought I was happy being single. And I was, for what I understood happiness to be. But one day I was looking on a website called MySpace.
Okay, so sinishare niya nga yung paano kami
Oh.
nag-meet. Sinishare niya nga yung paano kami nag-meet. Ayan. So, pakinggan niyo yung love story namin.
Okay. So it was MySpace, and they had some questions when you're doing your profile of like, are you a smoker? Do you drink? What religion are you? And you could choose that if you wanted to. And I thought that was important for someone that...
Still right now? There's
They
MySpace?
still have MySpace, but it's
not
changed totally from what it used to be.
Okay.
I think it's more music now, but I don't... You don't really hear it nowadays. But
Yeah.
But I did some simple choices. They were life choices from the beginning that I felt I didn't want to smoke. I seen smokers that smoked all their life, and I didn't like the health effect it had on them. And my family never was into drinking, really, even socially, so that's not something I was into. And I was a Christian, so I thought those were just some basic life choices that I'd like to put on my profile. And months went by, and then all of a sudden I had a message from, for me, the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen to this point. And she was like so beautiful that I thought, this has to be like a scam email, because why would she be messaging me? But I'm young, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and flirt with her, because what do I have to lose? And what I didn't know is Christina at the time, she was an entrepreneur. She loved to do business, selling things, and she could sense that, my intentions were not for a relationship at that time. It was just to flirt.
To flirt.
We play around. You have to have like a discerning spirit of who's serious about you, because this is a serious situation. And so I think she was testing me. She said, if you want to continue talking to me, then you have to buy a product that I'm selling. And at the time it was some coffee. And so I knew, like, I did enjoy talking to her. So I, of course, bought the coffee. And so we would talk online on MySpace, and then Facebook came around and became really popular. We started talking on Facebook, and we would talk for one whole year, just that way. And then it progressed to Skype. We would do Skype video sessions. We had to become creative in how we communicated, because it's a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
So we'd have like Skype dates where we'd each cook something nice, and then we'd each watch the same movie while we're eating. So it's kind of like a date night. It was just little simple things that I remember today that it meant something, because we made an effort. We had to make an extreme effort.
Yeah.
And just to be together. And in long distance relationships, if it's serious, it gets beyond just the normal, how was your day? You really have to talk, because for an hour you're talking of substance, of love and likes and dislikes. So you really get to know the person you're talking to. And so after that whole year, I knew of talking to her, I knew that this was something serious. This was more than just a friendship. It had progressed. I found myself thinking about her all the time. Even when we would hang up, I was still thinking about her. When I'd go jogging, thinking about her. So she was on my mind almost all day, and I'm thinking, wait, this is different. This is strange. I didn't know at the time, but that's the beginning process of falling in love. When someone is on your mind, then slowly she came into my heart, where I could feel that I was in love with her. So I knew that I needed to meet her in person, because online, right now this is like my nice shirt. My wife has nice makeup, but when we're by ourselves, we're different. We're putting on our best our best face, our best outfit to look our best. So I knew I needed to meet her, the person. So I booked a trip to come to the Philippines to meet her for the first time. And
like, why did you have that courage? How did you have that courage?
Because
I mean, I may not be a real one.
Right. For one, I wanted to see, is she serious? And to that point in my life, I've never been all into something, as in...
So you never had any girlfriend?
Not a girlfriend, no, to where I have given all of me to her. So I knew I wanted to take a chance. I wanted to not have regrets of, what if I gave it all, tried my best, and really opened my heart to this woman? And that started with going meet her for the first time. So when I came to the Philippines, you know, she was who she was. She was more beautiful. I remember thinking, wow, you know, this is amazing. Physically, she was more than I ever thought I wanted or needed. And we went back to her hometown in Tuguegarao. And I remember the first night we had tilapia, grilled tilapia. But it was just, for the whole meal, it was just me and her dad, Tatang.
Yeah. Tatang.
And what I think they wanted to know my intentions for her daughter. So we sat in silence for probably, it seemed like an hour, because he didn't know English that well and I didn't know Tagalog at all. So eventually he got the courage and said, so what is your intentions with my daughter?
He asked you that?
Yes.
Yeah, I was watching you guys.
And I looked in the window. I could see everyone's, you know, neighbors, everyone's looking, you know, who's this American watching? And, you know, I told him my intentions for that I had feelings for her and that I was in love. And he did like that fact, but that was just my first visit.
Mm-hmm.
She was everything I thought she was and more, but I had to come back to the U.S. So I came back to the U.S. Another year went by where we're talking on Skype. We're doing a little Skype dates, and we really got to know each other, our likes, our dislikes, and things that no matter what, we're not going to compromise in our life. You know, what our expression of how we love God, we're not going to compromise that for someone else. Marriage is a lot about compromising, but there's some things that you do need to draw the line. Like, I'm not going to go past this in this issue. Because when you compromise so much, you cease being who you are as a person. Because you're trying to please someone so much, you're not true to yourself. So after another year, I found like, you know, I couldn't...
He said you could really remember everything.
What? Yes. What? How do you pronounce it?
Ruru Sabala.
I mean, this is a major life event. You don't forget it. It's like you live it every day. Like, you can think back and you can remember the emotions, the feelings, and we do that from time to time. That's why it's good to have anniversaries. You relive that moment. You relive how you feel, and you can look back on how much you changed, how much you didn't know back then, how much you grew. So after another year of talking to her online, I knew I couldn't pretend anymore. I was totally in love with her, and I needed to come to the Philippines to ask her to marry me. So I came back to the Philippines, and I had the ring in my pocket, and I asked her, baby, will you marry me? And at that time, she's still a businesswoman, and she wanted to know, she said, baby, will you be in business with me together? Because you can be in love, but she wanted a business partner as well as a life partner. And so, of course, I said yes, and she said yes.